मन मेरे हर रस चाख तिख जाए। मन मेरे हर रस चाख तिख जाए। जिन्नी गुरमुख चाखया, जिन्नी गुरमुख चाखया, सहजे रहे समाए। सहजे रहे समाए। मन मेरे हर रस चाख तिख जाए। हाओ सतगुर सेवी अपना, एक मन एक चित भाए। सतगुर मन कामना तीरथ है, जिसनु देह बुझाए। मन मेरे हर रस चाख तिख जाए। मन मेरे हर रस चाख तिख जाए। जिन्नी सतगुरी सेवया, तिन्नी पाया नाम निधान। अंतर हर रस रव रया, चूका मान अभिमान। हृदय कमल पर गासया, हृदय कमल पर गासया, लागा सहज ध्यान। मन निर्मल हर रव रया, मन निर्मल हर रव रया, पाया दरगे मान। मन मेरे हर रस चाख तिख जाए। हाँ तिनके बलहारे ने, जिन नामे लगा प्यार। सेई सुखिए चौं चुगी, जिन्ना नाम अखुट अपार। गुर मिलिए नाम पाइए, चूके मोह प्यास। हर सेती मन रव रया, हर सेती मन रव रया, घर ही माही उदास। मन मेरे हर रस चाख तिख जाए। मन मेरे हर रस चाख तिख जाए। जिन हर का साध आया, हाउ तिन बलहारे जास। नानक नदरी पाइए, सच नाम गुणतास। मन मेरे हर रस चौख तिख जाए। मन मेरे हर रस चौख तिख जाए। Today we'll be starting on a new journey. In our last sitting, we completed the Vani of First Master, Guru Nanak Dev. Guru Nanak Dev had 33 hymns in Shri Raga. So those of you who have the paper in front of you, you can see the number 33. And then it starts now with the Shri Raga Mahla Tija. For those of you who are not familiar with the construction or arrangement in Guru Granth Sahib, all of the Bani is organized in ragas, and Shri Raga is the first one. And then within Raga, the Vani is organized by Mahla Pehla, Mahla Duja, Tija, Chautha, Panjama, and then a Nama. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and the ninth. There is no writings of 6th, 7th, 8th, and 10th included in Shri Guru Granth Sahib. Similarly, the second master has only shlokas and not hymns as such. So that's why you notice that from Mahla Pehla it jumped to Mahla Tija, the third master. And you will also notice as we get deeper into it, the first master, first Guru, was ordained by the Creator, creative energy, to spread the word. Following him, all those who achieved the ultimate Brahm Gyan, ultimate enlightenment, that was by following the prescribed methodology, technique, process, whatever you want to call it, discipline, by the first master. Now, these are the words coming through those who were not ordained by anybody. We cannot take the excuse, well, Guru Nanak was born this way, so what can I do? I'm not born that way. See, Sikhism is unique in that sense. You won't find that in Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, or anywhere else. Why? Because they have not bothered to take that methodology and create another Buddha, or create another Christ, or create another Muhammad. Sikhism the only one in the history of consciousness, spiritual consciousness. I'm not talking of the religion organizations. That's totally something totally different. We are strictly talking of spiritual systems, how to take this consciousness and make it keep on getting to the stage where it has the capability and the quality to merge with the ultimate energy. You can call it God, you can call it Rama, Krishna, I don't care what name you give. The bottom line is we are talking of that creative force from where all this sprang, how to merge back into that. It's not solving any physical problem, psychosomatic problem, economic problem, social problem. It's not doing any one of that. Gurvani's purpose is only one. How to get on the path, what are the pitfalls on that path, how do we know we are going on the right path, etc. So you will notice that the third master has a great reverence for that creative energy who helped him get in touch with the complete master to get started. For 62 years of his life, Guru Amar Das followed the Vedantic philosophy. He would visit every holy site. Every year he would lead actually the processions to go to various spiritual, religious places. I shouldn't say spiritual, religious places, temples, whether it was Devi mandirs or anything else. Every year he used to go on to yatra. And he felt that he's going through these motions as prescribed by whosoever. Or he understood himself by reading or whatever. What he thought is the process or method to achieve the higher consciousness, he was doing and did not miss even a single year for 62 years. It so happened that his nephew got married to the daughter of the second master, Guru Angad Dev. And one morning, while she was churning the milk, in those days, in the villages, this may be something completely new here because we go get our butter from the freezer. They used to get their butter by working hard. And while she is doing that, churning the milk, she was singing a hymn. Chit chetas ki nahi bavarya, har bisrat tere gun galya. जाली जाल रात दिन हुआ, जेती घरी फाही तेती, रस रस चोग फस चुगे नित फासे, छूटस कैसे कवन गुणी, सूटस मुए कवन गुणी. Jali ran. Every night creates a new trap for you. Jal din hua. And in the morning, all that traps then keeps on squeezing you. Mentally, physically, intellectually. And then what you're doing is, well, ras ras chog chuge nit phase. You are trapped by your own senses and you are getting deeper and deeper into the chaos of the Maya. Haven't you even thought how you're going to ever free yourself out of that trap? Chutas mude kavan guni. What should be the characteristic? And in the conclusion of that hymn, the line comes, Bhaya manur kanchan phir hove jaan gur mile taneha. Manur. We talked about that once before. Manur is the converted form of the iron. When the iron loses its capacity to be iron, or in chemical terms, when it gets oxidized, that iron oxide, even though is still iron, yet has none of the qualities of the iron. You cannot take iron oxide and hit somebody. The dimension has changed. That's transformation. Remaining the same, yet changing the quality. Ice is water, but ice is nothing like water. It's completely solid. You can kill somebody with it. But when it has become water, even though it's still the same H2O, but its properties are completely different. Not only that, when you boil that and it becomes gas, vapors, now it doesn't even have the qualities of the water that's flowing. Again, remaining H2O, but changing the dimension. And that's called manur. Changing the consciousness, changing the thought process, belief systems. I just so happened I had my niece visiting from me, or granddaughter I should say, visiting from Bombay, and I took her to the Universal Studio. And I took her to the rides. And she's screaming her head off. Whenever there is this, I'm sitting quietly. When we came out, she said, Grandpa, what happened to you? You are not excited by this? I said, I know it is just an illusion, it's not a reality, so what is to be excited about? And it totally flew by her. He said, I can't understand what you're talking about. No, Betty, I knew. Even though they say you are sitting in the car and flying into the space and this is happening and that's happening, I didn't go anywhere. I know I'm sitting in the same room. I know what is going on is an illusion. They tilt the car this way and you think that, and everybody is tilting that way and everybody is doing that. Why? Because you are actually not alert. Your belief system is trapped. You are not fully aware. When you are awake, then it's just like you go to see a magic show. Now, if you are a friend of the magician and you know the secret of the tricks, would you be as surprised as the rest of the world? Kabirji says that. Beautifully, he says, Baji garne baji pai, baji gar seo preet mohe banai. He says the whole of the world is trapped into that play and saying, look at this drama. And I'm saying, hey, come on, I know this trick. It's just a trick. It's a slice of the hand, that's it. So the changing of the dimension, remaining the same but changing the dimension, and in that hymn the line was, Bhaya Manur, Kanchan Je Hove. How? Je Gur Mile Taneha. If you get the true master. And what is the definition of getting a true master? He won't give you another system, he won't give you another ritual, he wouldn't replace your one routine with another routine. He won't. No, he will change the game. Not give you a new toy, but change the game altogether. And what is the game changing? He says he does Ek Naam Amrato Deva. Tau Nanak Tristus Deha. He would teach you the technique of true meditation, true Naam Japana, true Naam Simran. How to raise the consciousness by doing this. When he heard that hymn, he went and asked that daughter-in-law by relation and say, whose writings are those? The one you were singing. And he said, these are the words of my father's master. मेरे पिताजी के गुरु की बातें हैं ये, और उनसे मैंने सीखा है. And he said, I would like to go and meet your father. Where is your guru, your father's guru? He said, well, he's already left this dimension, he's gone. Okay, then I want to go talk to your father. He said, well, of course, go. See, the boy's side is always having the upper hand in those days. So he said, well, what do you want from me? I mean, you are going to be welcomed with open arms, so go. He said, no, I'm not going as a capacity of the boy's grandfather or uncle or whatever. I want to go as a disciple and I want you to take me there. So they go. Take that girl with her, and then he sits down, and basic problem was what? I have done this routine for 62 years, and from day one to day now, I don't see any difference. So either I am doing something wrong or I am wrong by itself. Please help. So then Guru Angad Dev gave him the same system, same discipline, methodology that Guru Nanak had given to Guru Angad. And for 12 years, the third master, Guru Amar Das, stayed with that process. After 12 years, he achieves the enlightenment, and when he achieves that enlightenment, then while Guru Angad was alive himself, he passed on that work to him now and he stepped behind. So you will see in the hymns that we are going to now see that there is a profound reverence and continues hammering this thought. Look for the true master. Look for the true master. If you are serious about your spiritual evolution, then don't go after dogmas and paradigms and this system and that system. If you are a Hindu and you become a Muslim, it is only changing the toy. The game is the same. If you are a Muslim and you become a Buddhist, only the toy is changing. Game still remains the same. None of them are interested in your spiritual evolution. They are all interested in your membership vote. That's all their achievement is. We have converted so many. Our membership has grown up to this. We have centers over this universe. That's their name to fame. Gurvani basically says, get away from this all. Don't look for another system. Just look for the perfect master. If you are lucky, blessed enough to get that one, rest of the things will be automatic. Now, the hymn chosen, Guru Nanak's Vani ended in his Shri Rag, the 33rd hymn. Last line was, Etan lage baniya, sukh hove sev kamaniya, sab duniya avan janiya, vich duniya sev kamaye, तां गए बैसन पाए, कहो नानक बाह लुड़ाए। एह तन लागे बाणिया. If you are blessed enough, if you are graced enough by the creative force, then the Bani, the word, will become a part of your existence. It won't be just a curiosity. It won't be just an intellectual khujli. You know, जरा सी खुजली होती है, जरा हाथ मार लिया, गल खत्म हो गया. I'm fine now. Done. That's the purpose of khujli, isn't it? You scratch a little bit, whatever the acidity was collected under the skin, by your scratching it spreads. Itching is nothing more than collection of acidity under that part of the skin. By scratching it spreads, intensity goes down, forget about the itch anymore. If the spiritual seeking is just that, and you attend one of these kind of things and then, okay, now, sunao ki hal chal rahe? How are the children? Any new investment idea in any stock? He says, no. Eh tan lage baniya. When it becomes a part of you, then what happens? Which duniya sev kamaiye. Then while in this life, you start actually implementing it. And when you implement it, then ta dargah baisan paiye. Then you get closer to the acceptance by that creative energy, because your consciousness is Raja. So that's where that hymn ended. And third master's hymn, the first hymn chosen is, look at the central theme, Rahao, the what that I recited for you. Man mere har ras chakh tikh jaye. It's pointing out to the last hymn, Har Ras Chakh. In the usual world of the sensuality, okay, senses, the five senses, even though they are busy tasting whatever is coming to them, but there is a certain amount of feeling of something missing, isn't it? Everybody basically somewhere along the journey of that sensual pleasures ask that fundamental question, is this all there is to it? What the hell I'm here? Well, I see, I get up, I eat, I drink, I work, I sleep, I get up, work, sleep. But is this all there? Is there any purpose of this nonsense? And because the answer doesn't come, there is a certain amount of inner discomfort. And that discomfort is not because the children are not behaving properly, or the husband is bad, or the wife is no good, or the friends are. It's not because of that. It appears to be so. But that's not the reality. The mystics are telling us that the discomfort is due to something much deeper. And what is that? He says, once upon a time, each one of us had tasted that blissfulness. Once upon a time, there is a memory that there is a state of existence in which there is no sukha, there is no dukha, it's a complete blissfulness. Sat Chit Anand. If you never had any idea, you would not be looking for something, isn't it? If you have never misplaced anything, you won't be looking for anything because you have no clue that it even existed. You only look for something which you had once upon a time had it. You know you had it. You know it exists. It's not the books telling you. It's not the saints that come here to make money saying, oh, you are part of the same Brahma. How do you know that? Have you seen Brahma yourself? Do you know it? Or you are parroting something that is written in Veda or Qurana or Purana or whatever? Tell me something that if you know, have you experienced it? Or is it just an intellectualism playing tricks with everybody? When you experience that, that leaves the memory, and the separation from that leaves that yearning, getting back. I mean, how can you find God? God has never been lost. You find something that's lost, isn't it? When it's not lost, how are you going to find it? And what are you looking for? No, there is a deeper thing in it. Somewhere on the journey through this cosmos, each one of us actually tasted that. And that has left a deep, deep memory. And by doing everything that we do, we never come close to that. And hence that yearning. And Gurvani says, how is that yearning going to ever be satisfied? Not by what you're doing. Think about it. Man mere har ras chaakh tikha. Heat. That is discomfort. Say, no other thing is going to remove that yearning, that burning inside you, that feeling of emptiness, that feeling of being not complete. It is not going to go unless you yourself raise to that level where that harras. Unless you become that energy again, it's not going to go. It's written. It has been proven again and again and again. You can play the drama every which way. You can become a king, or you become a fakir, or you can become a magician, or you can become a whatever. It's not going to matter. Har ras chaakh tikh jaye. And how does that happen? Jinni gurmukhe chakhya sahje rahe samay. Those who have been lucky to get that guru. Gurmukh means the word that came out of the mouth of the guru. Those who have been blessed enough to take that word and actually implement that instruction, they then become part of that creative energy. Sahaje rahe samay, they became one with the one. So, how the process starts? So that's where the hymn starts. Haon Satgur Sevee Aapna, ek man ek chit bhai. Now, very simple words, but very difficult to even go there. He says, unless you are capable of ek man ek chit, means what? There is absolutely no other thought left other than the word of the Guru. That's it. No other wave. You throw the little pebble into the water and we watch the rings going, following back and back and back. This is no wave. Just one single thought. What is? Haon Satgur Sevee Aapna. Once the master is available, and Sevee doesn't mean, I am going to massage your body. That's not seva. Why? Because the master is not the body. In Sikhism, body has no significance. Period. Guru does not even have a name. Angad is not the name of the second master. Angad means the one who has become the part. Ang, hissa. He became one with the master. Whatever master was, he was. And whatever the creator was, is master is. Guru Amar is not the name. Amar ho gaya. Amar, the one who has transcended the life and death. How? By becoming Das. Slave. Slave of what? Not of Guru Angad. He wasn't slave of Guru Angad. He became slave of the Creator. In Sikhism, the relationship between a human and the Creator energy is master and slave. And it's a beautiful metaphor to think about. Christianity created the relationship father and son. Sufis created the relationship of lover and beloved. Sikhism created the relationship of master and slave. Why? Very simple reason. When the relationship is of a master and a slave, there can be no ego left. How can a slave have ego? गुलाम क्या कर सकता है? जो मालिक ने कहा वही करना है. स्लेव के पास हुज्जत नहीं है, आर्गुमेंट नहीं है, क्वेश्चन नहीं है, डाउट नहीं है. Whatever the master said, that will be done. That's it. Even why I should be doing it is not allowed. Why? Because you are a slave. You just have been ordered. Follow. So the ego is cut down from the roots in the very relationship. Well, what's wrong with the lovers? There's nothing wrong with the lovers. There is a condition required with the lovers. Why? Lovers have to be of the equal stature. Right? Love relationship needs equality. Father and son relationship, someday the son grows up and become equal to father or even transcends father. There is a built-in problem, difficulty. So Guru Nanak avoided all of those difficulties. Jan Nanak har ka das hai. हरि का दास है, गुलाम है। मुल खरीदी लाला गोला, मेरा नाम सुभागा। मैं तो गुलाम हूं। गुर की बचनी हाट बेकाना। I have sold myself, given everything. So now whatever Malik says is okay. Thy will be done. That is the beginning condition, not the last stage. That is why West has a difficulty in understanding the model of disciple and a master. They know the model of teacher and a student, but they don't know that the relationship of a disciple and a master. There is no equivalent word in English language. Disciple comes to the close. Actually, that's not even a disciple. And the word master is also not doing the justice. Guru or chela, uske liye there is no equivalent word in the English language. We can only approximate it. It is a total, complete surrendering. That's why when we were doing Bulle Shah, I shared with you that Bulle Shah, for first 3 years, he was okay with his master Anayat Khan. In the 3rd year, he tried to outsmart him only once, and he was kicked out. He would not be accepted back. It took him a lifetime of penance before Anayat Khan let him back into the same crowd. And that's what Guru Amar Das's Vani will hit at this again and again. How Satgur Sevee Aapna ek man ek chit bhai. Because I am with the master, and the master is the only thing that is alive. Why? Because the master is not the body. He does not see the master as a collection of few billion cells, bones, and he sees the master as the creative energy personified, which is what it is. When you get to that stage, he says, Satgur man kamana tirath hai. For 62 years, he did the tirath yatra. And he said, I discovered one secret. Satguru is the tirath. Finding the Satguru is the tirath. And it is a riddle. It's not a mystery that you cannot solve. It's a riddle. Jisnu de bujhai, bujharat. If you understand that, if you can solve this riddle, that when you're looking at the master, you are not looking at a body. It's not a flesh and bones. The master, because the master's name given by the parents was Lehna. And when he got enlightened, he became part of the master. He became Angad. The Lehna word was dropped. Because we cannot relate without a symbol, Brahmagyanis, that's why when Buddha left the house, he was a Gautama. When he became enlightened, he became a Buddha. The ones whose buddhi, the intellect, is the one, the creative. That's why Buddha is not a name. That's why we say Gautam da Buddha. Because everybody who gets enlightened is Buddha. Unless this concept is understood, the sensual slavery would not be lost. We will always be slave to the senses. Because we will see always with the intellect, we will always try to hear with these ears, we will always try to see with these eyes. And this subject is not for that at all. It has nothing to do with sensuality. It's beyond the senses. It's when the senses stop. Kabir says, when all the 9 doors, moond liye darwaje, bajiyele anhad baje. He says, when I actually close all the 9 doors opened by the senses. 2 ears, 2 nose, this, eyes, the waist passage. These are the 9 doors through which the senses send the energy out. He says, in order for me to open the 10th door, I had to moond liye darwaje. I had to shut all the 9 doors. And then the 10th opened. That 10th door is where the master is. That's why we call them Siddh. Siddh kar lena, to win over the senses. Okay? So, third master says, Satgur man kamana tirath hai. Finding the Guru is actually the tirath. And then what happens? Man chandya var pavana jo ichhe so phal paaye. Well, then do we go to the Guru to ask for give me more money, give me a son, or make me healthy, or make me do this? Say, that's not the job of the Guru. For that you go to a Shahukar. Need the money? Go to a banker. Need some psychological help? Go to a doctor, a psychiatrist. Need some physical work? Go to the hospital. You do not go to a Brahmagyani to seek that type of a relief. What do you seek there? Now the aiye, now mangiye. You ask for that method, that process with which your consciousness can go higher. And that is the only test. Am I doing right or not? Am I on the path or not? The question to change that vocabulary little bit, say, is my anger under control? Is my greed getting under control? Is my vasana getting under control? Right? If the lobha is still there or it has gone up, hey, how many disciples came in today? Chadava kitna hoya? If that's what is being counted, then guess what? All of your kriya karma is actually useless. In that world. In this world it may not be. In this world maybe you Shri 108 Guru Shriman, when they start writing and they run out of the page. It's mind boggling. So many titles to add behind the name. What is that? It's a good sign of ego manifesting. If that is happening, then you are not going anywhere in that world. In this world, you are definitely increasing your circulation and your cheles and your income and everything. All you have done is left the home and created a mandir. All you have done is not create your own children, but create a lot of disciples. The same game. Only the toys are different. आज सारी उम्र शादी नहीं की और सेवा हमेशा औरतें ही करने के लिए होती हैं. किसी साधु को देख लो, ठीक है, शादी नहीं, अपने बच्चे नहीं है, चेले बहुत हैं, अपनी कुटिया छोड़ दिया, घर छोड़ दिया, मंदिर बड़ा, एकड़ के एकड़ जमीन लेकर उसके ऊपर बनाए जाते हैं सेंटर. Understand, are you changing the game or just changing the toys? If you're going to change the game, then what you're going to do? Now tyaiye, now mangiye. That's it. You're not going to ask for anything else. Name sahaj samaye, man mere har ras chaakh tikh jaye, jinni gurmukh saaj chaakya sahaje rahe samaye. Then they come to that sahaj avastha, whereas there is no disturbance of mind or body or anything else. Jinni Satgur sevya tinni paya naam nidhan. Nidhan means the treasure. Only emphasis on that word, naam. So what is naam? Everybody says naam japo. Bhai kya jap hai? It is amazing to me that once in this very group we wanted to actually devote some time to the actual Simran, but we could not agree on the name amongst ourselves. Somebody wanted to say Sahwang, somebody wanted to say Om, somebody wanted to say Ram, somebody wanted to say Vaheguru. Now what to do? Okay, Let's not do it. It's too complicated. That energy has no name, shape, form, or anything. The question is, what connects you with that energy? Whatever connects you with that energy is the name. You don't want to say Vaheguru because it belongs to Sikhism. No, it doesn't belong to Sikhism, but you don't want to say, don't say it. If Ram saying makes more sense to you, provided by saying Ram, you are not trapped by Sita and Ravana. Then the Ram is the son of the Dasarath. Then Ram is not the creator. Jai Krishna is okay, so long as you are not lost in the Vrindavan and talking of the cows and the Rasa Leela and the stories of the Kans and all of that. If saying Krishna, if saying Hare Krishna takes you directly to that energy, then Hare Krishna is okay for you. But if Hare Krishna reminds you of Kansa Mama and all the stories and Mahabharata and everything else, then that's not the name for you. So Gurbani says, focus on the name that actually connects you with that creative force. And whatever that word happens to be. I was in one of the crowd and one young man came and said, well, I love my wife and my wife reminds me of God. Is okay if I take my name of my wife? Go. All the power to you. मतलब मेरी बीवी मेरे को खुदा याद दिलाती, मैं बड़ी खुशी की बात है भाई. You are the first one I have run into this life. How long you been married? This is recently married. Every children are here? No. Okay, fine. Get on with it. Somewhere along the line, that name will become a hindrance. But now it's not. I'm okay with it. Let not anybody tell you. If that name reminds you of the Creator, then okay. And that's what this hymn is continuously hammering on that. Jinni Satgur Sevee Tinni Paya Naam Nidhan Antar Harras Ravarya. That's the key. Chuka Man Abhiman. Ego is coming down. Why? Because you are in touch with the greater than the greatest. So in front of the greater than the greatest, what are you? If the thought is of the greater than the greatest, then naturally, if the thought of your own self comes in, it's going to be totally useless, meaningless, insignificant. That's why when we were actually discussing Sohela, Gurbani asked that simple question. Gagan mein thal, Rav Chand, Deepak bane, Tarika mandal, Janaka moti, Dhoop malayan lo, Pavan chavaro kare, Sagal ban raye fulant jyoti, Kaisi aarati hoye bhav khandana, Teri aarati, Anhada shabd vaj ant bheri. This is, look at this. How arrogant a human can get. It takes a little bit of a plate and put some little lamps in it and then say, I am doing your aarti. How arrogant. Look at the aarti. 24 hours a day. Gagan mein thal. The whole of the world. And in that, चंद सूरज दीपक बने और सजे हुए हैं तारका मंडल, तारों जैसे मोतियों से सजा हुआ थाल, और तुमने एक छोटा सा धूप जला लिया. करे धूप मल आन लो. मलय सागर से वो धूप वाला जो जिसको पहाड़ी से उठा के लाया था वो हनुमान, पूरे का पूरा कायनात के में खुशबू जैसे फूल लगे हुए हैं वो, और पवन जो है उसको झुला रही है झूला. कैसे देखो कैसी आरती हो रही है और इंसान की अकल देखो, वो इतने बड़े भगवान की आरती छोटी सी थाली में करने लगा। कहने लगे उसकी आरती नहीं हो रही है, ये तेरी अहंकार की आरती हो रही है। इज योर ओन ईगो पर्सनिफाइंग देयर। क्रिएटर की आरती तू कैसे कर सकता है? कैसे उतारेगा तू, जिसकी सारी कायनात आरती उतार रही है 24 घंटे? तो जो हम क्रियाकर्म करते हैं, वट एवर वी आर डूइंग, द क्वेश्चन इज दिस एडिंग टू द ईगो और इट इज रिड्यूसिंग? एंड गुरबानी सेज इफ यू आर ऑन द राइट पाथ, व्हाट विल हैपन? अंतर हर रस रव रया चूका मन अभिमान। मन का अहंकार टूट के टुकड़े टुकड़े हो जाएगा। फिर मैं हूं कुछ नहीं याद रहता, फिर तू है बस वही, तू ही रह जाता है, मैं बंद हो जाती है। एंड व्हेन दैट हैपेंस, हृदय कमल प्रगास्या लागा सहज ध्यान, मन निर्मल हर रवरया पाया दरगह मान। If you are on that path and if you are following that process, then all the 5 negative energies will slowly drop and your consciousness will rise. But that's not an easy thing. Satgur sevan apna te virle sansar. Very rare. Virle means one in a gazillion. That's the most surprising aspect of this. That since the time immemorial, the saints and the mystics and the Brahmagyanis have come and repeated and written and preached. I mean, Buddha for 40 years, non-stop, day and night, traveled through the entire country. And look at where they ended up. September and Digambar. What they fight about? You'll be surprised. That I heard somewhere that there was a temple in a single village. They couldn't afford 2 temples. They had only 1 temple and 1 statue. And they set up the times that up to here you take over and then we come. And what's the difference between this statue? One likes to see the eyes completely open and the other likes to see the eyes completely closed. Why? Because one says when you are completely enlightened, open eyes indicate that now you can see everything. And the other says when you are completely enlightened, you don't need these eyes, you are seeing with the inner eye. So what they have the eyes. The only thing they change, the same statue, one comes in and put a palke here, so the eyes is open, and the other one comes to take the palke out, the eyebrows. And it so happened that once the prayer was going on and the prayer got late, so the others are outside waiting for them to finish the prayer, and they are not shutting it down. The fight became so violent that the case went to the court. So the judge is saying, what's the problem? Why couldn't you join in the prayer? Say, well, no, we had to change the eyebrow. We couldn't join the prayer. So they had to take the statue in the court. भगवान अब कचहरी में है, जज फैसला कर रहा है. That is where Buddhism ended up. There is no limit to the stupidity of the ego. It creates its own problem and then it fights over it. So long as you are into that game, spirituality is nowhere close by. First you create a problem, then you fight over it, and then you bring the witnesses and the attorneys to solve it. And then you say, I won. Who's winning and who's losing? It's the same ego. And Gurbani says, so long you are into that, you are not anywhere closer. There are very few, rare, who understand that game and just get out of the game completely. Satgur Sevee ne apna te virle, very rare. Te virle sansar, haume mamata marke. Now understand, the biggest trap of the male energy is ego. And the biggest trap of the female energy is attachment. Haume mamata. It's very easy for the female energy to surrender. It is a receptivity, whereas the male is projection, it's outbound. Female is a receptacle. It can surrender easily but then get attached. बच्चा पैदा करती है फिर उसके साथ ही चिपट जाती है. इसको नहीं छोड़ना है आप. Male energy will come and say, no, let this bird fly away now. Female say, The male is ready to bring its own female, but the female say, well, bring both of them. नूह को भी घर ही ले आओ, बेटे को नहीं जाने देना है. और अभी बेटा अब खुद आगे जाने वाला, इसको जाने दो, उड़ जाने दे, इसको नहीं जाने दो. The biggest example of attachment in the creation is, if anybody wants to know, go look at a monkey whose child is dead. वो बंदरी जो है वो उसकी बॉडी को चिपका लेती है, so much so कि वो ब्रेक डाउन होके उसकी हड्डियां गिरने लगती हैं, पर उसको बच्चे को नहीं छोड़ती. वो the worst form of attachment. Now, a human mother may let go the child because she cannot hold on to the body, but she never let go of the child from inside. Stays with him. मेरा दो बच्चा है. मैं देखता हूं, अपने घर में देखता हूं, मेरा एक बच्चा 26 साल का है, एक 29 साल का है, और माँ उनको बैठे हो तो वो पूछते हैं कब तक, कब हमें तुम छोड़ोगे नहीं. तो माँ का जवाब होता, तुम चाहे 70 साल का होगा तो फिर भी मेरा बेटा रहेगा. एंड शी टेक्स लॉट ऑफ प्राइड इन दैट. बच्चा कह रहा है मैं अब 30 साल का होगा, मेरे को अब ऐसी बातें अच्छी नहीं आती है, तो माँ कहती तेरे अच्छी लगती, मैं क्या करूं, मैं माँ हूं तो बेटा है, ये तो ऐसे ही रहेगा. एंड दैट्स अ मैटर ऑफ प्राइड कि मैं ऐसे ही हूं, मैं नहीं छोड़ती अपने बच्चों को. इट इज ए ड्रामा एवरीवेयर. एंड गुरबानी सेज वॉच आउट. Haume for the male, mamta, attachment for the female. Unless they can conquer that, they cannot get closer to the creative energy. Haume mamta marke. You have to conquer those energies. Only then, har rakhya urdhar. Only then, Prabhu's energy can come in, otherwise not. हाँ तिनके बलहार ने जिन नामे लग्गा प्यार, सेई सुखिए चौं जुगी जिन्ना नाम अखुट अपार. Only the true blissfulness would be felt and experienced only when you have actually tasted that. And how do you taste it? By actually taking that name, japna, practice that, abhyas uski practice. And when that has started, gur miliye naam paiye. The real sign of having found the true master is what? He would actually give you this technique. He would not ask you to become his chela. He would not ask you to stay attached with him. He would not ask you to help spread the word. He'll say, you just first save yourself. First get to that stage. Only then go spread the word, not before. Har seti man rav rahya ghar hi mahe udas. See, that's the beauty of it. You will live in the world, yet not of the world. You will be true actor. The people will see you and you will be acting with the, yes, fine. Yes, here is a wife, here is a child. And you know here is a wife, here is a child, yet you know. It's just a human bond created. There's no reality in it. जिन्ना हर का साध आया हाउ तिन बलहारे जास नानक नदरी पाइये सच नाम गुणदास. The true name, the true word, which once acquired through the blessing of the true master, that is the only route, that's the only source to make this soul grow to become the part of that ultimate creator. बाओ पेख कर भरमाइए मन हृदय कपट कमाए. हर का महल ना पावई मर विष्टा माहे समाए. मन रे ग्रह ही माहे उदार. सच संयम करनी सो करे गुरुमुख होए प्रकाश. गुर के शब्द मन जी दिया गत मुक्त करे मैं पाए. हर का नाम ते आइए सत संगत मेल मिला. जे लख स्त्रियां भोग करे नवखंड राज कमाए. बिन सतगुर सुख ना पावई फिर जो निभाए. हर हर कंठ जिन्नी पहरिया गुर चरणी चितलाए. तिन्ना पिछे रिद सिद्ध फेरे ओना दिल न तमाए. जो प्रभ भावे सो थिए अवर न कर न जाए. जन नानक जीवे नाम ले हर देवो सहज सुभाए. हर देवो सहज सुभाए. He says, but that's not what's happening. What the reality is, बाओ पेख कर भरमाइए मन हृदय कपट कमाए. So this is what the world is actually come down to. What? बाओ पेख कर भरमाइए. Do the makeup, dress up in a certain way and go and deceive the people and collect the money, wealth, and tell the people by doing this you will do that, by doing that this will happen. We have seen the examples all through our life actually. Tomorrow is the 3rd anniversary of the 9/11. How did the 9/11 happen? By promising heaven to some misguided people. You go kill so many, and more you kill, better your stay and place in heaven. That's the sign of this. Bao pek kar bharmaiye. What's bharm? Madhave, क्या कहिए भरम Bharam, what's bharam? Because jaisa maniya hoye na taisa. That's the definition of bharam. Whatever you believe to be true, it is not really a true. That's what bharam is. Why do we fight? You see the movies, right? In the movies, what is it? We know both sides. But the drama goes on there. One character not believing what the other character is doing or saying, or appears to be something totally different than what the real is. Only the movie goer sees it, but the character on the screen doesn't see it. I have seen people actually yelling, "Hey, don't do that, he is hiding behind over there." I've seen that. I'm sure you do that. Yell at the TV. That is bharam. And where does the bharam come from? How do we get trapped in the bharam? By the so-called preacher. There are two forces on this planet which contribute to that illusion. One is called political, the other is called religious. The so-called religious forces will give you that kind of affair, and the political forces, the power. And they dress up in a certain way, and they behave in a certain way, and they choose a certain language, and we get trapped by it. And how do we get trapped by it? By two forces. The greed or the fear. Fear of hell, greed of heaven. Two forces. And what happens in the end result? What is the result? Har ka mahal na paave, mar vista mahe samaye. Whole life is wasted. मन रे ग्रही माए उदास सच संयम करनी सो करे गुरमुख होए प्रकाश. Understand that you have to learn to detach while you are in the world. The world is given to you to practice detachment, not attachment. You are given these relations, these bondages, so that you can practice that detachment. The food is given to you to practice discipline, not practice taste. ये मीठा है, ये कड़वा है, ये सलूना है, ये फीका है, इसके लिए नहीं दिया था वो वैरायटी दी थी ताकि उसको देख के कैसे तुम डिसिप्लिन में रह सकते हो. वैरायटी इसलिए नहीं दी थी कि चमचा लेके सबका टेस्ट कर लो. See how the different way of thinking. जन्मदिन इसलिए नहीं आया था कि तुम उसके लिए जो है बकरे चढ़का के और शराबें बांटने लगो. कबीर कहते हैं जननी जानत सुत बड़ा होता है, इतना कना जानत दिन दिन अवध घटता है. See, he is looking from the other side of it. जननी जानत सुत बड़ा होता है, राइट? अब बच्चा 2 साल का हो गया तो खुशी मना रही है मां. तो कबीर जी कहते हैं अबे पागल, उसके पास 2 साल कम रह गए हैं और भगवान को मिलने के लिए. उसको शुरू ही नहीं करवाया तूने. इतना करना जानत दिन दिन अवध घटत है. उम्र कम हो गई है, बड़ा नहीं हो गया वो. मगर प्रीचर और राजनीति कभी तुमको यह नहीं बताएगा. वो सिर्फ गुरु बताएगा. Only the true master will tell that story. Look from the other side, not from this side. Unless you learn that, such sanjam karni so kare gurmukh hoye par. Say Guru is the only one who is going to give you that light. Gurmukh hoye pargas, chanan, light. Only Guru gives that. Everybody else misguides. because they have vested interest in you. They need to keep you in darkness, because that's how they control you, that's how they manipulate you. So, what you want to do? Gur ke shabad man jeetaya, gur mukut ghare mar maahe, gur mukut ghare meh paaye, har ka naam dhyaye sat sangat mel milaye. Guru is the only one who would constantly bring you back. You will fall down, you will go into the negative, he will bring you back. Otherwise, Gurbani gives an example. Je lakh istriyan bhogare navkhand raj kamaye. You can have all the sensual pleasures of the world and you can have all the politics, navkhand raj. You can have as much power as you can dream of, bin Satgur sukh na pavai. That little fire will still be burning in you. There will be something missing. You will always feel that. And not only that, fir joni paaye. You will be in the cycle of death and life, and new birth and death, new birth and death. That cycle will not end. Only possibility of that is har har kant jani pehrya gur charni chitlai. Beautiful metaphor. Har har. See, when you practice your Simarna, Naam Japana, it becomes a cycle. With breath in it goes, breath out it goes, so it becomes a circle. Circle means it becomes a har. You say, forget about the har that you're wearing here in the necklace, make the name as your har. Har 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 kant hai banaya. सांस अंदर जाए तो नाम अंदर जाए, सांस बाहर आए तो नाम बाहर आए, एक हार बन जाए, सर्कल बन जाए. हर हर कंठ जिन्नी पहरिया गुरचरनी चित लाए, तिन्ना पिछे रिद सिद्ध फिरे. And say, here is something going to be beautiful happening. You will attain supernatural powers. They will be chasing you and you would not be affected by it at all. Because if you get trapped by them, then again the journey stops. When the supernatural powers come to you and you start using them or displaying them, you're back to the square one. I remember here in this very sitting about 6 years ago, I used that as an example and said that the people who are, some people are getting the dust out of their palm and distributing as in there was somebody sitting here, they got so mad with me. They have never shown up again here. All I was saying, and I still say that, because Gurbani says that. Any kind of supernatural power that you have acquired, if you start using that and implementing it, you have stopped growth of yourself as well as the others who follow you. And that's what Gurbani is saying here. Tinna piche rid siddh fire, onna til na tamaye. They would not be affected by it at all. Thy will be done. You are not going to play God. Thy will be done. Jo prabh pave so thiye. It is his will that's causing this drama. You do not interfere in it. Avar na karna jaye, jan nanak jeeve naam la har devo sai subhai. All you are asking, praying for it, give me that name. Give me that word. Give me that technique. Give me that process, that discipline which gets closer to you. Not to create another illusion, not to collect the people to follow me. No, I want to get closer to you. So may He give us the wisdom and the strength and the desire so that we take that word and practice that and implement that so that we can get to the ultimate where we are actually destined to go. Because every entity, male or female, every entity is actually meant to get back there. And someday they will. Every one of us. We may choose to postpone it which is what we are doing now. We have decided to postpone it. है ना? अजी आज मिठा कल कहने डिठा खा पी लो मजा लो. Nobody has come back from there to tell what it is really. This is all talk. Come on, let's go have some fun. Okay, have fun. But let's hope and pray that while we are having fun, we are actually thinking of this and someday implement it. With that, I want to thank you all for coming, and we open for any discussion.